you try to pinpoint what the problem is, or is it a culmination
That's
of
what I mean.
everything?
There's what you can't blame injuries, and I've got friends who have said, "Oh,
maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's fatigue."
Injured. You look at their bench; they've got so many options. Like, yeah.
I mean, it just goes down to the midfield problem for me. If you look at last season, they have been pressing so much, and that definitely plays a part in their physical toll. It takes a toll on your health, and of course, last season, they've lost the Champions League. They've become runners-up in the Premier League. It has to play in their minds, this mental fatigue. It's been 7 seasons now they've been doing the same gegenpressing system. They are obviously tired, and we can see it in the stats as well. If you look at the number of pressures or tackles in the attacking front and the middle third, they have quite obviously decreased in numbers. And when this decrease, it just shows that their midfield isn't pressing as much, their forward line isn't pressing as much, and this places a big pressure on their own defense. Because we know that last season, Liverpool is one of the teams that love to play a high line. With a high line, they love to play offside traps. This season, when their midfield is a bit weak, they can't tackle, it just forces them back a bit, and with that, they cannot play a good offside trap. If you look at offsides facilitated, 3.79 last season and only 1.58 offsides facilitated this season. They are forced to defend deep, and defending deep isn't something Liverpool is used to, and it's definitely a weakness of Virgil van Dijk. Now, Virgil van Dijk, I know it's gonna sound controversial, but he is a great defender, defending on a high line. He has the pace, he has the awareness. Like, nobody can beat him on a 1v1, but that's given the space. But if you confront him inside the box, we've seen it. He has given away penalties. He's clumsy in the box. He isn't as good at defending in the box as Thiago Silva maybe. So in my opinion, this is a major issue Liverpool have to fix it.
Yeah,
Van Dijk as well. He was the best player in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, and he's been a shadow of his former self.
Yeah.
Trent has been on the bench.
I think
James Milner's been playing over him.
Individual players who are all out of form eventually all comes into a side that's completely out of form as well. I think that really plays into it. Huge matchups happening this week as we have the London derby over at Stamford Bridge, and Antonio Conte's men welcoming Jurgen Klopp and the Reds to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Over at the Serie A, we have a classic encounter between Juventus and Inter Milan. And lastly, high-flying Burnley will take on Sheffield United in a quest to further extend their lead at the top of the Championship table. All these only on the Big Kickoff.